Right now, you're probably only meeting about 10% of the people that you could do. And if you're relying on dating apps, that number is going to be even lower. Look, I'm not entirely anti-app. They have their place, but they are very limited. You swipe, you wait, you hope, you get ChatGPT to write some prompts for you, so does everybody else, and you get very limited results. That's the cycle, and for a lot of people, it just doesn't feel good. When you can meet people in real life, things change. You feel confident again, you realize you have options, and you stop settling for rubbish behavior. Because when you feel like you can meet somebody anywhere, dating is going to stop feeling like a dead end, and it's going to start to feel like a choice. That's why today we're going to go over 3 real-world strategies to help you get out there and meet people. Most people live in what I would call a cold world of social momentum. They have the same habits, they see the same people, they do the same things, and they spend a lot of time at home scrolling the internet. We need this to change for you to create momentum in your dating life. I want you to live in a warm world of social interaction where you are meeting and connecting with new people every day. To do this, we need to start with some solid social habits. I want you to make a commitment today that you're going to go out twice per week to somewhere where you could reasonably meet someone new. Yes, that means on your work from home day, you get yourself to the coffee shop instead of staying at home. And maybe for one of your free weight sessions, even though you want those gains, you instead go to a group fitness class or social. At the beginning, your job isn't to flirt, it's not to get someone's phone number, it is simply to be open to social connections and to be spending your time in the right places. So when you're out there in the real world meeting people, you actually don't need a clever pickup line. Casual and simple are fantastic conversation starters. Think about it. What's more important? Having a perfect thing to say and then not talking to anyone, or having a pretty okay thing to say and becoming more socially connected? If you want to meet people in the real world, you've got to let go of having a perfect line and instead opt for much more low-pressure conversation starters. These are going to be easier for you to deliver, and also, what's really cool, they're actually more inviting to the person you're talking to. So in your everyday life, I want you to practice some soft starts to your conversations. For example, if you're at the gym, you could say, this instructor always kicks my butt. If you're waiting at the queue at an airport, you could go, oh man, this line is going on forever. If you see some people at a bar, you could say, wow, you've got the best spots at the bar. If you're at a coffee shop, you can say, I'm always stuck on choosing between my regular order and the special. The key here is really to verbalize whatever you're thinking about, and also to lower the expectation of yourself of what is a good conversation starter. Look, if someone is open to talking to you, if they're socially switched on, if they want a date, they are going to get back to you regardless of whether you say something simple or the world's most amazing pickup line. Okay, now you've done some of the heavy lifting of both showing up and starting a conversation. The next thing I'm going to get you to do is stay in those conversations. Now, a funny thing will happen to you if you go out and practice this in the real world. I can guarantee that the first time that you talk to an attractive stranger and they talk back to you and they're smiling, you're going to pull the ripcord and you're going to be like, whoa, time out. I'm going to get this conversation to end. You may actually already be missing opportunities in your dating life simply by not seeing your conversations through. You may feel like you've run out of something to say. You may wig out because there's a pause. You may think that there's something special that you need to be doing that you're missing. In fact, you're probably not. I would instead like you to trust these social skills that you have, and trust that if you put yourself in the place to continue talking to someone, that you've got this, you can handle it. You may be surprised again at what the threshold is for someone to feel attracted to you and to want to stay in touch. You do not need to have a pitch perfect conversation. You do, however, need to show up, start a conversation, and stick with that conversation until either it reaches its natural conclusion of you swapping contact details, or the other person gives you a clear signal that they want to end. Either way, if you can do this 3-part framework of show up, say something, stay in your interaction, you will be surprised at how your social and dating life evolves. So here's the thing, you don't need a perfect pickup line, you don't need to suddenly have a personality transplant and become a complete expert. You just need to make some basic changes to both your social skills and your dating and social habits. This is going to change your life. And once you start to meet people in the real world and you stop relying on apps, you are going to feel incredible. And if you're ready to start, that's exactly what I help people to do.